Necesitas reír.
I'm Frank Lee, and these are Odd Things. This odd thing was brought to my attention by Yeticast during the Great Banana War of 20. Cuba. Just off the western coast of the Guanacabibis Peninsula, there's a sunken city that no one can explain. Until now. When I initially heard about this story, I chartered a jet to Florida, and, at my dismay, my private submarine was under repairs. So, I had to improvise. After being offered a dinghy, I said, "Ha-ha, I'd rather swim." I made it to Cuba in less than 2 hours, after making landfall in the land of classic cars and colorful buildings. I made my way to Sandino. Sandino is a city in the middle of the Guanacabibis Peninsula. I arrived in Sandino, only to my dismay they could not rent me a rebreather so I could comfortably go down and investigate the ruins. So I had to improvise. After stuffing myself with 3 pounds of tres leche cake and 1.5 gallons of El Presidente, I hatched a plan to get to the sunken city off Cuba. I decided I was going to free dive. Local experts stated that it was impossible for the human body to withstand a free dive of 650 meters to reach the sunken city. I politely informed them that I was born at 1,000 meters, and that when they cut the umbilical cord, I had to free float to the top in order to take my first breath of oxygen. In much disbelief, they looked at me and they said, "Well, what about the sharks?" And I politely informed them that I eat sharks for breakfast. I once hand-wrestled and drug a great white shark out of the ocean just so I could have one tooth. After realizing their attempts to stop me are futile, the locals left me to my devices. So, I went to the western edge of the western coast of Cuba. I stripped down to my skivvies, with nothing but me and my Polaroid camera, where I took this photo. As you can see, there is a sunken city off of Cuba. I would like to personally note that because I did this free dive, I independently crushed both the free dive record and the breath hold record in one shot. But, because no one was around to witness it, I will not get credit for this. Upon further investigation during my free dive, I realized that some of these structures are 400 meters long and 40 meters tall, and appear to be made completely out of granite. Upon surfacing, the Cuban authorities arrested me and had me deported back to the United States, which saved me another swim. So honestly, gracias. I've heard a lot of speculation and theory as to why and how these structures came to be, ranging from global warming melting the ice caps and flooding the city, to God flooding the world and causing this structure to be submerged. But I have a theory, and this is where it gets odd. I believe that these gigantic blocks were dropped from ships in order to confuse people in the future. They were just so precise with their measurements that it actually worked. Most people will say that this hoax theory is full of shit, but what do they know? I'm Frank Lee, and this has been Odd Things. Have a wonderful day.
Oh, that was so fun!